mini set launched 2 days ago, so that meant that, of course, there was a bit of a meta shakeup. Now, at the beginning, it didn't seem like too much of a shakeup, but yeah, lately there's actually been popping up like a surprising new deck as well, so we'll be covering that, and all the other decks that are really good at climbing to Legend. As always, we'll start with the most efficient deck to climb to Legend, and the deck codes are in the description. And that the best deck, what looks to be right now, is the Cliff Dive Demon Hunter. Now, there's some different versions of Cliff Dive Demon Hunter, of course, but this one seems to be the best. It's running stuff like Elise even, and some smaller minions, so Cliff Dive is a little bit less important compared to the list that are running just like Briar Spawn Drakes and the Illidari Inquisitor, but it's more versatile this way, and you're not just reliant on hitting Cliff Dive on those big minions, and you can just kind of pressure the opponent the whole game. Of course, we got the Laze location. I mean, the blob to resummon with Ravenous Founder, that's incredibly annoying to deal with for any deck. You can get back with Return Policy, and then if some of those minions stick on the board, you can just Cliff Road and hopefully get like a full board of Inquisitor, McTheridan, or even Zilliax might not be too bad to get a full board off. So yeah, this looks to be very strong right now. Then the second deck we have is the Blood, and Holy Deathlight, and this one didn't change too much, although more than the last deck, which had 0 new cards. This one actually has 1 new card. It's got 2 copies of the Remnant of Rage, and it's pretty solid because you can like Corpse Explosion on the board, and then possibly, especially if there's death rattles like the Blob of Tar, then you make this easily cost 0. Though sometimes it can also be kind of stuck in your hand. I did really well yesterday with this deck actually. I mean, I got to top 50 with it with a really nice score, and yeah, so this deck is really good to climb. It's also running Kerrigan late game because we are not running the Marin anymore on the 7-drop or Deos, so we're lacking a bit of late game now because of Remnant of Rage. Instead, we're running Kerrigan in 8 mana slots, so you have that bit of extra burst late game, and it's also really nice against Quest Warriors because that hero power just gets through that Bulwark of Azzinoth very easily. Then the third deck we have here is the Aura Paladin, and this one got a big upgrade with that new aura, with the Acceleration Aura. So this means you get 3 times an extra mana crystal, even though we could read it as 2 times, but it works out that it's 3 times. And it's amazing because this deck is all about that Galbane, of course, getting that out as early as possible. And well, getting an extra mana or 2 mana on a turn if you have 2 of them. Yeah, that's pretty good when you want to get that card out. That's also why we're running the Violet Treasure Guild. So it's guaranteed to get that Acceleration Aura. That's just how important it is. So yeah, you play that card, then you can curve into the Elise on 4. Like you can see here, we're not even running 3 drops because we just want to be running Acceleration Aura on 2 and then go straight to the 4 drops. That's why there's so many of them. But even the Cardboard Golem that got buffed like a month or so ago is actually pretty good here because that means you get another mana with the Acceleration Aura. Your Galbin is way better. This deck just got a really nice upgrade with the mini set and definitely way stronger than it was before. And the Shaman deck we have here is the Hagatha Shaman, and yeah, nothing special here really. It's still the same deck as before, just get a lot of stats on board over and over and over. The one tech slot we have here is the Hex, so you can kind of change it based on what you're facing, but Hex seems solid, especially if decks are running a lot of those Blob of Thars. It can be really nice to deal with it because as Shaman, that is a pain to deal with. And the rest, yeah, you probably already know how this deck plays. Then another deck that got a big upgrade with the mini set was the Dragon Warrior. Now this build is only running 1 new card. There were 2 more Dragon cards that were new, but yeah, the 3-drop, I'm not sure how great it is. We're still running Whelp of the Infinite. Might just be because there's a lot of other dragon decks on ladder, so then Whelp is better because it does really well against those big dragons, like the new Prescient Slither Drake. But maybe the 3 mana 2/5 that gives your minions in hand +2 attack might be better later on if stuff changes. But for now, we're playing the Whelp of the Infinite in the 3-drop slot. But yeah, this card really good. The new 4 mana card, well, or 7 mana card, whatever you want to call it. The rest though, yeah, kind of stayed the same in this deck, right? Just want to play minions curve out nicely and then yeah, win the game with a lot of damage from hand with like Stadium Announcer and Wind Peak Worm. The second Death Knight deck we got here is the Frost Decay. Now you can see it's running some new cards. It's running the Remnant of Rage as well in this list, but it's also running the new Bygone Echoes. Now I checked the stats. The stats did not seem very good on this card, so it's probably best to just cut this card and add like an extra Mirror Manipulator or like a Seamstress or like one of these 1-drops. But yeah, I couldn't really find any list that weren't playing it. I guess everybody was trying the card out, but the stats seemed pretty bad on it. So yeah, I would recommend probably not to be playing it, but you can always test it out, see how that card works if you want to do that. And as Frost Decay, I think is a little bit different from the previous Frost Decays. Usually you had like a ton of damage as Frost Decay, but this deck, as you can see, there's not actually that many damage cards from hand. So like there's the Mirror Manipulator, of course, the Foam Render, but overall it's just a deck that really wants to get on board. Got a lot of minions, right? Just keep getting on board, and again. We got that Zilliax that yeah, wants to have multiple minions on the board to work as well, the 0 mana giants. So it's really more more of a board deck now than it was before, but yeah, you still got that damage though with these cards, and the Kerrigan here as well. And the Warlock deck we have here is the Egg Warlock, and yeah, nothing changed about this deck. Maybe I thought, you know, the new 1-mana card could see play the Eternal Toil, but yeah, seems like it's not quite worth it because it doesn't quite kill the egg, and you don't really care about the 1-drop, so that's not being played. So yeah, it's pretty much the exact same list as before, where you just want to get the egg, kill it as soon as possible, preferably with an Archroot of Thorns in between, and then just resummon with Umbra. I mean, nothing about this deck changed. And here we have the Discover Hunter, and same thing with this deck. Not much has changed here. It's still, yeah, just the same build, a more aggressive build. There were some builds that you played like Ceaseless and like some more late game, like Ziliax, but this just seems to be the better build right now. Just be a bit faster, more damage, especially because you have that Sylvana. She can get that multiple times with the Brewmaster and the Scout, and then yeah, you don't really need that late game because you just win the game with that damage, especially with Arcane Shot on top of it with Neri, or the Grifta with Neri. You got tons of damage, so yeah, no need to really build too much late game in this deck, and the deck just still functions the same as before. Nothing changed here. Now here we have actually a new deck. It's the Cycle Demon Hunter, and this yeah, I don't think anybody saw really this one coming, but it seems to actually be putting up some pretty solid stats, and the goal of this deck is just to, well, as the name says, cycle through your deck, get that Broxigar, actually a deck that wants to play Broxigar, and then bounce it twice with the Brewmaster that we have here, and then for 10 mana, so you can kind of do this combo only on turn 10, you get 36 damage from hand, and yeah, that wins most matches. And it's also very similar to Psycho Rogue in that it has like some mid-game power with like 0 mana minions, like the Remnant of Rage here instead of the Everything Must Go, and it can also dish out a bit of damage in the mid-game because there's a lot of cards that deal damage. I mean, we got Patches, so that's 6 Chargers. We got, of course, the Infestation, another 4, even the new card Press the Advantage. We got the Cliffside for 6 Rushers. Like, there's a lot of damage actually in this deck, besides that combo with the Broxigar. And I'm even running Ceaseless. You might think, why is that here? But yeah, you draw so much that usually by the turn 10 when you want to do combo, it's going to be 0. So taunts won't stop you when you want to do the combo. So that's the purpose of that card. So yeah, new deck, and it looks to be pretty good in the meta right now. And we go from a new deck to an old deck in the Protoss Rogue here, and yeah, also not much has changed with this list for Protoss Rogue. It's still the same as before the mini set. It didn't really get any mini set cards. Of course, you don't really want to imbue in Rogue. And yeah, the goal is still, of course, to get those Templars going. Preferably combo them with the Dales, because then you deal like 32 damage if you have 2 of them. If you can copy it with Elise, just 1 Archon. And yeah, that just like with Broxigar, we just had yeah, over 30 damage from hand. That's usually pretty game winning, and yeah, outside of that, just does the usual Rogue stuff, right? Dubious Purchase, kill minions, you got Deja Vu, Nightmare Field, will steal some cards, and yeah, cheat mana with that Prep and Shadow Step. So yeah, same deck as before here as well. And then we have a brand new Priest deck you've never seen in these videos before. It is the Protoss Priest, which is playing a grand total of 0 new cards. Although it's sort of running the Intertwined Fate in this build, one-off. It seems to be the best right now. It might change. I haven't seen this card before in this deck, but it showed good stats, so that's why I got it here. So it's always a bit of fun, right? These cards that just get a card from an opponent, see what you can do with it. Just keep in mind, though, if you get a 1, 2, or 3 drop, you might resummon it with Resuscitate, and that's maybe not what you want, especially the 2 drop. You really want to get that Sentry back. That's very important, so keep that in mind with that. And other than that, yeah, it's Protoss Priest. You probably know what to do with this deck by now. And the Druid deck we have today is the Copy Druid, or the Location Druid, because yeah, it is running a lot of the locations. We got the Mirdrasil, we've got the Jinajari, and then you want to copy that with the student. So sometimes half the board can be filled with those locations with the Scrapbooking student as well. And yeah, it's just Druid, you want to set up the location with Jinajari, then copy it with Lady Jara, but it's not necessary. Depends on what you want to copy, because if you just copy Alonius with some of the damage cards we got here, like Ebb and Flow and the Swipe, yeah, you don't really need to play Lady Jara to buff it. But if you want to combo it with here, we have the Briarspawn Drake at the end, then you probably do want to get the double stats, because yeah, then you get to 24, maybe even 48 damage if you can copy it twice. And yeah, let's just say usually 48 damage attack on Briarspawn does win the game most of the time, I'd say. Just got to figure out what the way is to win in this match, because of course people can play around Briarspawn Drake, but it depends on the deck. Some decks, they can't win without playing minions, so then it's fine to go with this, but some decks, like say Quest Warrior, right, they can just sit back and only have like 1 minion on board and this won't win. So you have to figure out during the game which win con you wanna go for. And here we have another rogue deck. This time it's the Elise Rogue that we also saw before the mini set came out, and nothing changed here. Now also get into the Imbue Rogue, which seems to be quite a bit worse than this deck, but it's really fun. I posted a video of that yesterday on this channel, and there's some really cool highlights you can have with the Imbue Rogue deck. But yeah, this one seems just to be better. It's just more consistent. Just consistently do that stuff you want to be doing with a Rogue deck. Just keep up the pressure and not just Imbue that doesn't do anything and then hope your hero power is good. So yeah, just more consistent than Imbue Rogue. And then here we have the Imbue Rogue, and you can see it's pretty similar to the regular Elise Rogue. Just you take a couple of cards out, put in the Imbue cards, and that's pretty much it. The one big difference though I'd say here is the Eudora, which finally is actually viable in the deck for the last 2 months in Standard. Because this card is really easy to proc with that hero power, and yeah, those treasures are pretty amazing. If you've seen them, there's so many good ones that can just swing the game, win the game on the spot sometimes. So yeah, this one is kind of the highlight of this deck. And outside of that, this deck plays pretty similarly though to that Elise Rogue. And then we have the third Protoss deck on the list. Yeah, well, at the start of StarCraft, Protoss was the worst faction, but that turns out it had the last laugh with a couple of viable decks. Now, Protoss Mage isn't amazing. It's not the best deck to climb with, but it is a viable deck if you want to play kind of this slower mage deck, and there aren't too many good mage decks to play. There's a lot of mage decks. They're just not that great. I like playing them, though. I play a lot of Tokyo Mage, and especially the Quest Mage. I love playing the spell Quest Mage, but the best deck in Mage is just the Protoss Mage, and yeah, you win by playing Colossus and getting that to do a lot of damage. And you've probably experienced this enough to know that, yeah, this deck pretty much always wins once you get to the late game. So if you're playing against this deck, you gotta pressure them and not play into Sleet Skater if you wanna beat it. And the last deck we have for today is the Quest Warrior. Now this build is a bit different. It's more of an OTK deck now than it was before, because we're playing the Murasant. So yeah, you Murasant with Time Warp, you hit the opponent, you win, unless there of course is like a Bulwark Hub. But yeah, that's more of an OTK deck, so you got more draw. We got the Ungoro Brochure, we got the Sleep Under the Stars now. We're not running like Marin, so we're running this one just to get rid of it from our head, so you can actually draw faster. So that's pretty much the goal of this. And yeah, outside of that though, before turn 10, it's pretty much the same as the older Quest Warriors. You just want to stay alive, clear the board efficiently, and then yeah, get to that quest and then win the game with that. And those are all the decks I got for you today. As always, deck codes will be in the description. Let me know what you'll be playing, or did you miss any decks in this list? Did you have success with any deck that I didn't show here? Let me know in the comments. If the video was helpful, make sure to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and until next time.